a video on this. So this is the fat that I separated out of some Stilton. So I had some leftover Stilton at work, quite a bit of Stilton at work, and I was like, what am I going to do with that? And I was kind of thinking, well, let's have a go at frying this Stilton. And then I've forgotten why originally I did it, but then this fat comes out of it. Once you fry it, there's a video somewhere. It'll be under dairy, like cheese and milk and yogurt, etc. and stuff, or something like that. And you fry the Stilton, and then this fat comes out of it. It separates from the solidy part of the other part of the cheese, and you get this fat that comes out. And then with that fat, I turned it into some delicious, like Stilton. It's got quite an umami kind of flavour to it. It's not particularly strong, and it's particularly delicious. I turned it into a butter by adding water to it. So melted this, added 80 grams of this, 20 grams of water, and then whisked it over some ice, maybe a bag of peas or something like that, and it turned into a butter, and it was delicious. It's delicious, but it's kind of like a expensive. So unless you've got a load of Stilton that you wanted to get rid of, it's kind of quite an expensive thing to make. And I always kind of thought, well, it was a nice experiment, nice something to do, but completely impractical. Then, a couple of weeks ago, I went to a restaurant, and they had on the menu lamb fat butter that they served with homemade focaccia, and it was delicious. And then there was also a beef tallow fudge, which was delicious as well. And it kind of got me thinking, well, I've just got something in my back of stuff, and it got me kind of thinking again about this Stilton fat. I was kind of thinking, well, how could we make it go further? And then I was kind of thinking, well, we could water it down with some other butter, like they did with the lamb fat butter. So take some butter and then enrich it with some lamb fat. You could get some butter and enrich that with the butter, but then you would kind of like loosen the flavour, lessen the flavour a little bit, and I kind of thought, maybe not. But then I was kind of thinking, well, we could actually, while we're frying some Stilton, to make that, we could actually bulk out the fat with some ghee, so I was kind of thinking, so that's what we're going to do. So instead of bulking out with frying it with butter, because the butter would burn, if we use ghee, hopefully the Stilton will impart flavour into the ghee, and we'll end up with like a higher yield. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to melt this ghee. So there's 120 grams of ghee here, and then I've got 125 grams of leftover Stilton, and then we'll kind of see what happens. So we'll fry this old Stilton in with the ghee. It will impart flavour into the ghee. It will also release some of its fat out of the Stilton, and then we'll be able to see what kind of ratio we kind of get, and then we'll make some, recreate the butter, the Stilton butter that I made before. We'll make some out of the Stilton fat, and then we'll make some out of this ghee infused fat, Stilton fat. Sorry, I'm thinking my way through things. I'm hungry because I've just come home swimming. I just kind of thought I'll just do this while I'm having my dinner. So the butter, and by doing equal quantities, we'll kind of see if we get a good enough flavour in that amount of butter, and then we'll essentially we'll have cut down on the amount of cost there is involved. So wash hands. Start to fry this. Right cheese, eh? Move that pan around on the back with something else, and then we'll see what happens. Right, so this cheese has gone crispy, and it will release some of its fat into that clarified butter stroke ghee. So that's collecting there. So we need to not make a mess of things. Skim this off and pour it into this jar. There will be a little bit of, I've got I've got these. I've lost a little bit. Look at that, idiot. What a fool. Anyway, so we might as well give it a taste. Oh, we can use this. We'll give this a taste on here. It's certainly buttery. I don't know if it's Stilton-y. Yeah, it's got that umami Stilton funk to it. So, but we'll see what it's like when it's set. Right, I have weighed this, and there's only 120 grams worth of butter in there. Well, clarified butter, ghee. So we haven't really kind of collected a lot of fat coming out of that Stilton, but we will have got the flavour coming out of it. So, and it also means that we don't have to have huge amounts. I mean, there must have been kilos of Stilton to kind of get all that fat out of it. I can't remember. But anyway, let's try this. It's definitely got that little bit of a Stilton flavour to it. Now let's compare to this. That's got more, but. Let's make some butter out of it. So, melt it. Well, I'll just do it. I'll kind of show you. Right, so bowl on bag of peas with 20 grams of water in, and then 80 grams worth of the melted ghee into there like that. Get all of it in. We need the water in so it kind of goes like butter, otherwise we're just whipping up that into a solid. So, and it's not as, it needs the water in to become soft like butter, because butter has, like I've explained before, butter has got 5% liquid in it. Oh, just a bit more butter in there. So then take your trusty hand whisk and whisk until it cools and solidifies. Right, so you just have to be a little bit patient. So it's starting to cool now and it's starting to solidify. We need to keep whisking it so we mix in, not homogenize. Oh, that is the right word. Emulsify the fat into the water. So as you can see, it's starting to, so just need to carry on. Right, so you can see it's certainly turning into like soft butter now, so carry on. Right, so there we go, that has now turned back into a type of butter. There you go, so there you go, look at that. Right, so I'll do that's the Stilton-y, melted Stilton-y one. This is the proper Stilton fat that came out of the Stilton. Just got a bit of extra fat in the pan, just going to do that. Carry on, I'll do the same with this one, and then we'll give them a bit of a taste and do a bit of a comparison, and then we'll be able to see if it's worth doing. Right, let's give these a try. Just a little dried out bit of bread. So this is the one made with the, let's try the original one first. So this is made from the actual fat from the Stilton cheese, the lengthy process and the faffing around. But let's be honest, that is the one thing that's consistent about my channel. Right, so how's it taste? Means a little bit of salt. Just a little bit. Maybe we should try it without the crust bread. It's just crunchy. It's a bit sour because I made it out of a sourdough, so try it without. Use fingers, but I'm in my own house. Or you can do anything you want in your own house, can't you? It's good. It's good. And then this is the one that was made for the fried cheese. Yeah, it hasn't got that. It just tastes like whipped butter. Hasn't picked up on that Stilton kind of. That's amazing. I just need a bit of salt. How's this taste? Yeah, it's got that. It's got the Stilton hint to it, but just kind of not as much as that. So maybe the way to do it would be to mix that with that. Maybe we should try that. Maybe we should try that. I'm just going to mix it on the cracker and then try it. A little bit of salt. It's nice. That was nicer though, and it's a hideous amount of Stilton that you have to melt to kind of make that. I kind of thought we could get around it with this, but not to worry. Not to worry. It's still nice. It's just not as nice as that when you do a comparison. It's ridiculous. I'm just eating butter. It's just missing the oomph that one's got. It's just missing the oomph. But maybe we can have another go and a bit of playing around, see if we can infuse the Stilton in a better way, rather than just mixing the Stilton into the butter. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But anyway. No, it's definitely there. It's definitely there. It works. It works. I'm being too hard on myself. That works. It's just that when you do a comparison to that and that, there's no comparison. That's like 5 times better. But in the same way that when I made some fake honey using the skins from some honeydew melons. That made a syrup out of them, and then kind of like faffed around and put in some flowers as well to kind of like make it perfumey. And you kind of go, oh, that tastes like honey, does that? But does it taste like honey when you put it next to honey? No, because you're comparing it with the real thing. So side by side, tasting that one just by itself without that, you kind of go, that's delicious. That's really nice. Is that you can just get this hint of Stilton to it. You know, like that's kind of quite like a nuanced, kind of like subtle kind of flavour. That's nice. But compare it to that, of course it's not the kind of same. But, still delicious, and certainly an interesting thing to kind of do. And if we can do that with Stilton, we could do that with other cheeses. So we could do it with like, I don't think you wouldn't kind of get the flavour, but you could do it with like cheap hard cheeses. And kind of do it that way. So like things like cheap cheddar, you get like a lot of fat coming out of that. So you could fry cheap cheddar in some clarified butter and then make like a cheddar one, or like a hard Italian cheese kind of one. And you wouldn't be able to necessarily tell that it was a cheddar cheese, or a hard or a Parmesan kind of cheese, Parmesan butter. Cheddar cheese. I said cheddar cheese, and you wouldn't be able to tell it was like a butter made with cheddar, or as opposed to any other cheese like a red Leicester or something like that, because they're all kind of in the same kind of flavour kind of profiles, and it wouldn't be strong enough to kind of like punch you in the face enough to kind of go, bang, that's cheddar butter. You know what I mean? But we can use that process to do something kind of quite similar. But anyway, so interesting. and I just enjoy having that on my toast at some point, probably tomorrow when I come home from yoga and I'm absolutely starving. But anyway, so delicious, a success.